Hey, you are now listening or watching the Halos in the Infield podcast, sponsored in part by Noble L Works over on 1621 South Sinclair, where you can get discounts by just mentioning HITI, Halos in the Infield. Drink discounts on us, baby. And also by 714 Tickets. The price you see is the price you get, and you also get 10% additionally off in the Apply Now code once you order your tickets just by mentioning HITI, Halos in the Infield. Now enjoy the show.
Live every night on the Halos in the Infield Baseball Network.
Welcome to the Halos in the Infield Postgame podcast with Todd Fox, sponsored by Noble Ale Works Brewery, as well as 714 Tickets. This is your nightly destination for all things Los Angeles Angels. Come join Todd as he recaps every thrilling and disappointing moment from tonight's game, win or lose. Get ready for insightful analysis, fan reactions, and Todd's engaging commentary. Plus, fans can call in live to the Halo hotline to have their voices and opinions heard as well.
It's the Halo hotline.
Stay tuned in for your chance to win free Halos merchandise with our weekly trivia.
It's all about the game.
It's time to dive into the heart of Angels baseball with Todd Fox on the Halos in the Infield Postgame podcast.
There's a drive from Mike Trout. See you later. That is long gone.
It's the Todd Fox Postgame Podcast with your host, Todd Fox.
Hey, welcome in. I guess we're live. Hopefully you guys can hear me as we're having wonderful technical problems again. That's been the norm for us over here on the show. So welcome in, everybody. It's the Halos in the Infield post-game show with your host, Todd Fox. Hope all is well going on for you today as the Angels win a series straight up out of nowhere, taking 3 out of 4 from the first place team in all of baseball. Not all of baseball, but the Mariners anyway. Our first place team, and the Angels took that away from them today with a nice victory, a come-from-behind victory when all else looked terrible for the Angels. The Angels came back and got a big victory in winning today. So this is the only place where you could find good baseball talk for your Angels. No other post-game show provides the stuff that we do, the interaction with the fans, the back and forth, the sound bites, everything. You got the phone calls, you got the surprise calls. The Angels win here today 3-2. On a Sunday afternoon. Hopefully your Sunday's good. And I got to tell you this right away. I got to tell you that the Angels won today for one reason and one reason only, and that is because of That's why. The Deos were out in full force. They've been out in full force this entire series. This had nothing to do with it today. It was all about the Angels win 3-2 on a big Deo there by Joe Adell. Joe Adell coming through with a huge home run late in that game in the 8th inning. Usually we're not used to the Angels doing this kind of thing, but they did get the win tonight or this afternoon in a very surprising fashion with a 3-2 victory. Again, you had a pitcher that was cruising for the Mariners, and unfortunately for the Mariners, this has happened to them a lot of times. And, we're probably going to get into an episode as a draft is going on right now, or it's about to start. We're going to get into a overall, hey, let's check out what the Angels did in the first half. Let's break down the season. So that'll be a podcast to look forward to. Sorry, as I'm trying to dig in my pants here for my, not for anything else, but for my phone. There's my phone. But no, we're going to look back at this, at the regular season and give you our analysis on the first half as they finish the first half. 41-55, 22-29 at home. They started, remember the homestand or the homestand during the season at 7-21. They rebounded a little bit from there. The Mariners fall to 52-46, 22-28 on the road, so almost mimicking the Angels' home record. But in this series, after just getting waxed in game 1, 11-0, the Angels won 6-5, 2-1, and 3-2. We're going to talk about the games too on the podcast and maybe break down every game or every series about what the Angels kind of did. And we're also going to talk about their home and road records, their records when they score 5 or more runs, when they score 2 or 3 runs, 1-run games. we'll break it all down. And a few hitters here, a few hitters there, a few clutch runners within scoring position. This season's completely different. I think the pitching is held up relatively good, with the exception of guys like Silseth, who was supposed to be a breakout pitcher, really has just fallen off the face of the earth. And then you've gotten pitchers that have just, like Reed Detmers, who started the season rock solid, and you thought this guy is going to be playing for a spot on the All-Star game and All-Star team, and then you just come to find out the dude is just not playing good at all. And that's been the biggest struggle so far, is watching these teams or these players not perform in the first half when you've seen what they're capable of doing, and they can do it, but they just haven't done it yet, So it's tough. You want to see this team succeed and do better. But so far, this is what we've been handed here in the first half of the season, and that is just, a mediocre ball club. A team that right now is in third place. Today's game, 26,000 people braved the heat. I think it was more like 15. Then you had the Angels are at 41-55 right now, so far with a record, and they've won 3 in a row though, but they're still 10 games out. And had they not had that losing streak after having that win streak, we'd be talking about a different club right now, because Seattle's been scuffling for some time. Houston's been on the rebound, although they've lost 2 in a row. They're only a game out of first place. Texas has been floundering, and they're only 5 games out. So this has been a very bad division, where if the Angels had put anything together this season, we'd be talking a different story. But again, lest you guys not forget out there that the reason why we won today is only because of one reason. Yep, that is my new soundbite, and I'm going to play that because I'm tired of going to Angel games and hearing Dale for every fucking last thing that they do out there. I don't know where that came from. I don't know why we're playing it so much, but it is goddamn annoying. So with that being said, let's talk about the pitching today, because today was your classic, hey, you don't have no one to start today, so we're just going to throw out a starter out there, or a opener, and let them roll with it. This was not a planned game. The pitching staff's been a little thin lately, and they went up against Gilbert. And this is again why I hate Halo hunks. I hate them because again they will come out there and spit their game and just say, hey, you know what, our bullpen sucks, and they'll go back to a Suarez outing, they'll go back to a Strickland outing, or a Matt Moore, someone who's been lit up, and they'll say, hey, see, I told you our bullpen sucks. Or if Estevez, when he was bad in the first half, primarily, except for when he's gotten hot the last 12 appearances, they're going to say our bullpen sucks, but our bullpen more often than not has saved the day, countless amount of times this season, in which either a starter doesn't do good or the bullpen comes through and just stops the run scoring from the other team. And today was no different. If you look at the numbers, Carson Fulmer got the start. 52 out of 77 pitches were for strikes. He pitched 4 1/3, 4 2/3, 7 strikeouts. He matched what Logan Gilbert, who only allowed 2 hits in 7 innings and 9 strikeouts. He matched him for the first almost 5 innings. Then you threw Strickland in there, who gave up a run on 2 hits. That's fine. Matt Moore gave up a run, but those weren't till late. Stanek for them didn't give up anything. Voth didn't give up anything. Saucedo. But you had Krause, who held on, got into a bit of a jam, but got out of it, the bases loaded jam. And then Contreras looked really good as, closing it out on 16 pitches in the 9th inning. But there wasn't much scoring in this game. The Mariners, Crawford homered in the 6th inning. Robles scored on a throwing error by O'Hoppe. It was 2-0, but then Adele, a guy we've been all clamoring at as someone who's got to step up, someone who's got to play better, someone's got to raise that average. He can't continue to be hitting 200 all season. He's got to put up or shut up. This is the type of year where, okay, you've had a bad season, let's get it going. And in the last couple games, he's got it going a little bit. He's raised the average a little bit, and he came through with a tremendous home run right when they needed it to get the victory. He's raised, and look, as good as he's been the last few games, he's only raised his average to 190. So dude's got a long way to go. He's hitting like a lot of the Seattle Mariners guys. A lot of the Mariner guys are underperforming. We need Joe Adele if they're going to be anything in the second half. and I'm not saying this team's a playoff team, but you would like for them to get consistent and make a goal of hopefully getting as close to 500 as possible. And a guy like Joe Adell's playing for his future, unless we're going to trade him, because I don't think there's too many things defensively. I think Ron Washington's staff has helped him out there. He looks a lot better defensively. I think the problem really is with his swing. His swing is too long. He doesn't know sometimes when to just tighten up, choke up on the bat, and try to go for the hit. Although, we know he can drive the ball. We know he can hit the home run. I want to see more of Joe Adell getting base hits, doubles like he did the other night, and then also, working the counts a little bit more. Like him and Moniak have been driving me nuts all year because those two guys are free swingers. They have long swings, much like how Brandon Drury's gotten into a bad habit of doing the same thing. Brandon Drury's never been right so far this season, continues to suck, and he's batting 171. He's got the same problem. These guys need to tweak their bats, get themselves back into a better routine of hitting the ball and then realizing the situation, in-game situations where, hey, I don't necessarily need to drive the ball today. I need to just take what the pitcher gives me, try to go with it through the gap, look at the defense in between pitches, find out where the gaps are, find out where the holes are. You're a professional hitter. If it's not there in left field, if they're playing you to pull, well, then go to right field. I don't want to hear excuses anymore for Angels hitting. They have more than enough talent to get the job done. And I think they can, but they got to be able to understand the way that you need to change, like any kind of teaching that they're getting from any of their hitting instructors. You got to be able to be willing to change your bad habits and focus on what you can do to be better. And I think a lot of these guys are too prideful and they mess up on that. So with that being said, the Angels win 3-2 because Joe Adell took what the pitcher was giving him. He threw him a cookie up in the zone, down the middle, and Joe Adell saw it, recognized it, and put it over the fence. 3-run shot. That is the highlight for him this year. He's had a couple big bombs, but I think that was the biggest hit for the year. He got the Golden Stamos last night in the victory, in the 2-1 victory, because his hit and his running ability and his defense last night was the keys to the victory. And today, his 8th inning comeback home run was the big difference. As far as the Angels lineup, not much was done today. Just 2 men left on base. They went 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. The one was the key one by Joe Adell. You had 11 strikeouts for the Halos. Usually they have a losing record when striking out more than 9 times in a ball game. If they can keep it under double digits, you're usually in a good spot. But 11 strikeouts tonight and still got a win, so that was a little bit of an aberration. Only 2 walks issued to Angels hitters today. 3 hits or 3 RBIs for Adell. Obviously, that's the max right there. You had only hits from Adell, Neto, and Shonawell. Everyone else went 0-4 in the lineup today. So there's that. Although Ohapi's 276 going into the All-Star break, I was thinking he was going to be a 280 to 285 hitter. So he's right where I think he should be. And home run numbers are coming around and things of that nature. Mariners, on the other hand, struck out 15 times. Jerry Dipoto for the Mariners has got a lot of work to do. He's got to get some hitters in there because these guys aren't panning out. Your Mitch Garver's only batting 174. J.P. Crawford's only batting 209. Riley's 216. Polanco 197, 211 for more. And for this team to be first place shows you how bad the division is and how good their pitching is overall. Although they blew the game today, it still is outstanding. Their hitting is letting them down. The Mariners could be a much, much better baseball team, but I don't think they're going to get any kind of respect, and they're going to get passed up by Houston if they don't make a move here soon. The thing going for them, unlike the Angels, is if the Angels were to get back into contention somehow, some way, they don't have the pieces to make trades, whereas the Mariners do. They've stockpiled a little bit, and I think they have the moves to get a few players. So we'll see what happens. There's going to be interesting things coming up here in the next 15 to 20 days. The Angels winning once again, 3 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors to 2 runs, 4 hits for the Mariners. Well-pitched series for the Angels as they win 6-5. Let's get into the awards, and we'll get into your comments and maybe take a phone call or two. But one more time, since they played it about a half dozen times or more. Yep, Deo indeed. So with that being said, let's get into the awards, and we're going to give you out the John Stamos Award. First, Roger Lodge has a PSA for you.
There's a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight, which makes me so horny and me love you long time.
Yes. The John Stamos Award for Best Player on the Field. Well, who else are you going to give it to? For back-to-back, we've been giving away this award all year for perfection because John Stamos, according to Roger Lodge, is perfection. We've been giving that away to the best player who had the best performance in that set game, right? So Joe Adele's only got it one time before last night's game. He got it last night, and by God damn it, he gets it 2 days in a row. Joe Adele, congratulations, is your John Stamos Award winner for best player on the field. We'll get to the phone calls soon, but I got to get through these comments and stuff because we haven't even jumped into that. It's too early for phone calls, but keep that phone call for a little bit later. But Joe Adele gets the All-Star or the award tonight for that 3-run shot. Now let's talk about the Nacho Night. Who was the worst player on the field?
I love the nachos, gas station nachos. I love those nachos, yeah. Gas station nachos, ow.
The worst player in the heaping helping of diarrhea nachos has to go to Kyle Rowley, the catcher for the Seattle Mariners. So it's one thing that will get you noticed on the show for having, the Nacho Night Award, which goes to the worst player in the field. And that is, if you're a pitcher, you just get lit up. Simple as that, right? Or if you're responsible for blowing a save, that gets you the automatic nachos, right? For a hitter, it's usually a guy who makes a tremendous error, an infielder or position player that cost you the game, or a guy that just blew it, hit into too many double plays, or it's almost an automatic if a player gets the hat trick with 3 strikeouts, or the worst possible performance for a baseball player, especially a position player, and that is getting the overall golden sombrero. What is a golden sombrero, you say? 4 strikeouts in 4 at-bats. Every time Kyle Rowley came up, he struck out. So he gets the heaping helping of terrible salmonella diarrhea-laced nachos. Now, the golden dong, which goes to Willie Calhoun, which doesn't go to him, but it's his award for his big package, goes to the player who either was the stiffest competition on the field, the hardest to hit, or just the hardest to get out. So let's see who it is.
It's a big Calhoun, the golden dome, for the player who stood out all day long. Stiffest competition on the field, halos in the infield, who's finna be revealed?
The stiffest competition on the field, I would have to give it to Logan Gilbert. Logan Gilbert for the Mariners pitched his ass off today. Definitely did not deserve the no decision. Again, no walks, no earned runs allowed, just 2 hits through 7 innings. Maybe you can argue he was taken out a little prematurely there in the 8th inning, as the 8th inning was the rally point for the Angels. But he threw 87 pitches, and that could fall on Scott Service for pulling him a little early. I'm sure Mariners fans don't like the fact that he might have been lifted a little too early. A guy like him, in all honesty, could have gave you 8 innings at least. So with that being said, let's play what we play when we win. We know we play the Savage Garden in a loss from starting pitch to last pitch, and then we also play the Buttercup when we have a lead and then blow it. But when we win, it's Stukas all day, baby. So the Angels win today, get some Stukas for the 3rd time in a row, and let's start out the comments, shall we? Rally Chris checks in with, we won 3 straight games versus the Mariners. It's fucking Spritz o'clock. We're so back. We're so back. So he got it first. Blame Rally Chris on this one because he beat Mateo to the punch, which it's usually Mateo every time. But you know what time it is. It's Spritz o'clock.
Spritz o'clock, Angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer no matter the score. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more.
You go, Artie saying Spritz o'clock right there. Rally Chris also says, I wonder who said Seattle is going to have a huge collapse. Book it. 10-game lead with only 1 game down. It's now down to 1 game. Now Texas is coming back 5 games out, 10 games back. We're there. So he's predicting this entire huge collapse, and it's happened so far. David checks in with, I'd rather have Squid batting than Drury. That's saying something, David. I can't stand Drury, dude. I'm done with that guy. Light the baby up. Willie says. Mario checks in with come from behind victory. Cue Lombardi, because even Lombardi doesn't even recognize a comeback with the Angels.
What the hell's going on out here?
Exactly. Also, Boo Boo says, we won a series. Yes. Yes, indeed. She's super happy right there. Also, you got Rally Chris checking in again saying, here's a positive thing to look out. The Angels are 20-17 since June 3rd. I say we're going to have a hot second half. I'm calling it and book it. I don't know about that because every time we get any kind of momentum, we have an off day or an all-star break. Rally Chris beat Mateo's streak. He sure did finally beat it. Hey, everyone. Happy Sunday. Daniel checks in right there. Willie says, why didn't Estevez close? Is he about to be traded? No, he's according to the Angels, Willie, you can't have a pitcher pitch 3 games in a row. And unfortunately, he pitched 2 games in a row. So today would have been the 3rd, and they don't want his arm to fall off, even though we have 3 or 4 days off. So again, it's the team being stupid, but they got lucky with the win today. Willie says the streak ends for Spritz o'clock. Postseason, here we come. Halo Joe says. Eric checks in from Seattle. As a Mariners fan, here are my thoughts. Fuck! Those are good thoughts. Dan says, Adele won it. Light that baby up. Anaheim, not LA, won the game. Exactly. Tyler checks in, my boy, who's vibing all the time, says, how come we didn't see Adele's nipples? That's because, everyone already knows that Ohapi's got the best looking nipples on the field. So Adele's like, man, I'll show my gold chain, my earring. I might show my biceps or whatever, but Ohapi's got the nipples on lock. That's where it's at right there. I mean, if any nipples are going to be shown, it's going to be up to it's going to be up to our boy Ohapi. Checking in from IG, who do you think the Angels are going to pick up in today's draft? I'd be shocked if we went with a rotational guy. I think we're going to go with that the dude that I think is a second baseman. So Mateo was 12 for 12. Let's see, on Spritz o'clock. He was. Frederick's way late right there. Saucy says Adele is athletic version of Rob Deere. Oh, damn. That's a way back machine one right there. Eric says, Willie been playing a lot. No, he's not been playing a lot, unfortunately. I mean, again, you were the star a couple nights ago. He gets a off day right after hitting 2 home runs. And then he plays today, but went 0 for. I mean, almost everybody did. Mariners got Buttercup, Blood Moon says. Sure did. The Rally Deo, that's for sure. So he's like, I want to hear some more Deo. It's like, if you didn't hear enough of it at the game. Again, I don't know what that means. I don't know why we have to play it, right when the crowd gets a little quiet, it's like Deo, and you get them to say Deo, and it's like, okay, now what? Rally Chris says, I'm going to say this right now. We just broke Seattle to come off in the second half and fall on their face. Very bad starting with the Astros and then the Red Sox to end July. Yeah, they get the Astros right away, right out the chute. Saucy says, if we don't trade in earnest this deadline, I'm going to need somebody to be that someone. You're going to have to swing away, Saucy. Also, Eric says, and as for the series round of applause to all y'all. See, Eric's a real one right there. Even though, he's a Mariners fan, he's been a loyal fan of the show, and he checks in all the time. We love him up there in Seattle. He's not biased. he calls it like he sees it, and he also says, hey, man, I'm sorry you guys took that loss. And he doesn't say it with any kind of what is it called, blowback or condescending way. He's usually super genuine. So I'm always nice to him back because he's a cool dude, first off. And second of all, he never ruffles our feathers. But, hey, it was a good series. Tip of the cap, Eric. Could have went either way. 3-1 run games in a row. Tyler says the freaking Deos. He's laughing on that. James says Adele has these clutch moments, but not consistency. Happy for Krause to get another win. Good mojo for the young guys on the team to win a series. And even though Krause looks like he's 31, that dude's young. He's a rookie. So it's another rookie you can add to the mix with the Angels. You got Soriano, you got Ben Joyce, you got Shonawell, you got all these guys. Ohapi, Neto, basically are rookies out there, the young kids. So it's another nice player to add to the mix. James also says Seattle is like us, maddening, I bet. Yeah, they're pretty pissed off. And Erica also, says, hey, kudos to that. I'm right there with you. Dan says, even the Yankees have the Deo. Must be a baseball thing. I had never heard of it till the Angels started using it. JT says, Fulmer going 2 1/3 and 6 earned runs the next outing, though. He's like, I don't trust this pitching. So it's okay. I mean, I'm telling you, he's not that bad. RT says, I shout halos, and I don't care if it's wrong. See, that's cool, RT. I respect that. I respect that. Also, Saucy says, Ronzi Contreras, lights out closer. You know what? Who knows? Maybe a guy who they've been using out of the bullpen, a starter, now his first save. He's got good enough stuff. I mean, I think that's why we picked him up from Pittsburgh, but I still believe that you got to go with Ben Joyce to close it out at some point. Halos Forever says, woot woot. Angel's grandma says, Joe Adele comes through again, 2 games in a row with a 3-run home run to win the game. Too bad there's a break now. That sucks. He's coming. And it's true, Angel's grandma. And that's the frustrating thing. I believe it was James Gonzalez from our shows, from James Squared here on YouTube, who he came out when the Angels had won 6 in a row and said, damn it, the dreaded off day. And I'm like, it's not too bad because it's not like a break. But James breaks down the numbers, and he knew that more often than not, when we are on a streak and we hit that dreaded off day, for some reason, it's like when kids get out of school on a Friday, forget everything about a test on Monday, forget all about what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to act in school, and they come back Monday rowdy with not enough sleep, not prepared for that test. That's how the Angels show up the day after a day off. And it's going to be even worse, as we've seen the Angels do when they used to come off playing not bad for Socha right before the All-Star break. Second half starts, it's like, who are these guys? Because, again, they would practice stuff that they weren't doing in the first half and look terrible at it. So we'll have to see. Leaf checking up from Seattle as well says, definitely calling in, need to vent, and have been needing to vent for the past 3 weeks or so. So, all right, we'll hold that thought as I get through these comments. You guys can call in. Silent E says, I watched someone review Angel Stadium on another YouTube channel, and I heard a Deo, and it annoyed the living shit out of me. Eric says, Joe Adele, Stamos, and quite possibly the Dong as well. He did. Close to it. Krause is a badass. Way to get that last strikeout. He is. I love the flair with that dude. Not so much on the post-game interviews. He's kind of flat because he's such a new player. So hopefully he develops some charisma. But on the mound, that guy is developing into a quite good pitcher out there. Joe Adele for AL MVP, case closed. Boy, you are honking your honk. And Oscar says, remember, we are so back. Alex also says, we don't give a damn, Leaf. This isn't the Mariners channel. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Poor Leaf. JM says, thanks, Roger. Also, you got Tyler says, this is the Angels' grandma's day. Don't you dare play the hot dog chick. balls, and we're going streaking. Well, we're kind of already streaking, which is nice. And we're not facing too much emotional damage, so we're doing pretty good. But that is 3 in a row, and I guess that constitutes this.
Sorry, we're going streaking through the quad and into the gymnasium. Come on, everybody!
Yep, that does. And this also.
All right, you guys, let's listen up. We won a game yesterday.
We sure did.
We win one today, that's 2 in a row.
Already did that.
We win one tomorrow, that's called a winning streak.
Sure is, and we got that. But it's the All-Star break now. Cruz really deserves a big Hans today. First 3 big league wins in 3 consecutive appearances. JM says, or they are named Brandon Drury. Dan Rio says, in my opinion, Keston gets the nachos. He cost a perfect game and Fulmer's possible win. That is true right there with that error. Andrew says, light that baby up. Hate the Mariners, so this was a sweet series without Seattle's daddy, Mike Trout, too. Which is true, too. I mean, imagine if we had Mike Trout in here. He'd be giving all kinds of problems to the Mariners because that is one team that no matter what, he's clutch. Also, the Mariners are still in first place. Yes, they are. Gilbert only had 1 3-ball count today, and at no point did he give a 2-ball no-strike count today. Gilbert was amazing. That's why I was kind of perplexed why he didn't go. I mean, unless he was really overheating because of the temperature on the field. Because remember, if it's like, I don't know, 90 degrees as a game time temperature on the field with the heat resonating off of the dirt and the grass, if you've ever been on a field, especially a football field or a baseball field with turf or even a fine grass or the dirt, and it'll emit more heat. So it could be anywhere from 7 to 10 degrees hotter on the field than it is in the stands. So, yeah, not looking good. I didn't join the live right away because I was at work. Well, you missed out that chance right there. Also, sorry, Mateo, I broke your streak. Also, season starts after the break. That is Roger Lodge. Roger Lodge is like, don't worry about it, JM.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Exactly. Where was Rendon? Hurt again? No, he had the day off because he didn't have enough days off in the first half of the season. So Ron Washington's like, you know what? You're going to have to get another day off here because you appear to be so tired. You're going to need your Mimis right there. Also, Dan Rios, who wins the home run derby today? I think you have to go with a guy who's won it multiple times, and that is Pete Alonso. Our boy Fernando made the home run derby, or is going to make the home run derby, and he's going to be rooting for Alonso. He's got a Mets jersey with, I believe it's, God, what was his name? Tim Tebow on it. So, yeah, Tebow, for some reason, is one of his favorites. Rally Chris, I'm looking forward to my birthday next Friday, but I'm not looking for the Day-O shit. Yes, well, you're going to get it regardless. How about those City Connects for the rebrand? That is nice. I just like a little tweak on it. Some of you guys agree, some of you don't, but get rid of that Los Angeles patch and put an orange patch. You might say, oh, it doesn't go with the color thing. I don't care. Orange County's Orange County. Just put a little orange on the jersey. No one would bat an eye. I think more people are frustrated that it still says Los Angeles on the side. Frederick says, Day-O is the banana song by Harry Belafonte. No one knows that that has to do with baseball, or no one knows what that has to do with baseball. I don't understand it either. I know who the guy is. I've seen it famously. If the Gen Zs or Gen Xs don't remember Harry Belafonte, I only know that because my dad religiously listened to K-Earth 101, and sometimes when they used to play 50s and 60s music, that song would come on for whatever reason. People liked it. But everyone remembers it from, Beetlejuice, when they're singing and everyone's floating and all possessed and shit. Let's see. Also, Dan says, stuck watching the game on Root Sports. Dummies kept calling us LA. We aren't the Dodger idiots. Root Sports is a funny network, by the way, up in Seattle. Danny checks in with, we need to cat. I don't know what Danny Cacho's talking about there. We need to cat. There we go. I think he made up his comment here. We need to carry this same energy into the second half of the season. We can actually make the playoffs with some more wins than having the Trastros and Marinas lose more games. I could see that happening. And to look at Houston, and depending on what that team does, they're not going to run away with the division, even when they get the lead from Seattle, or if Seattle can hold on. Neither team's going to run away with it and bury anybody. But we would have to see a lot coming from Seattle or from the Angels for me to think that we have a chance. They would, basically you would have to ask these pitchers in the bullpen to keep pitching over their heads like they've been doing all season, and you would need some consistent hitting. So I just don't know if that's possible. Mario says 10 minutes, and Todd hasn't talked about the dong yet. Well, I already broke that streak. Angels need starting pitching 3 picks away. We'll see what happens there. Let's see. Also, White Sox just took the pitcher the Angels wanted, Hagen Smith from Arkansas. I knew that guy was going to be gone, though. I did not expect him to be there at number 8. So many City Connects have nicknames. Why no Halos on ours? I don't know, but I do love the Angels look on there, though. I do like that jersey. Let's see. R. Martinez says, is Taylor Ward still being used as trade bait? As far as I know, yes. Boo Boo checks in with a super sticker. Really appreciate that. Very much helps the show, and she knows she's important to the show. I'm gonna have to, if she keeps this up, I'm gonna have to keep sending her stuff right there. Jason Kroom from Instagram says, I'm okay with the Angels having a top 5 pick, but also happy to see the young ones improve. That's not a bad take right there. Over on IG. Also, J714 says Angels need a big power bat, solid overall hitter. Kind of bummed Kurtz went already. Hopefully JJ is still there at 8. That's coming around the corner. It's definitely coming around the corner. Should we get Chase Burns guy from Wake Forest? That was a guy I was hearing from the get-go, but we'll see. If you guys want to call in, 714-598-3221, 714-598-3221. Are we out by 13 games? I remember 1995 and the division was weak. It is possible, plausible, no. Right now we're 10 games out. So we're not exactly that bad, but we're not exactly that good either. So if guys like Leaf and others want to call in, or whoever called in to start the show earlier on want to call in, then go for it. In the meantime, unless somebody calls, I'll go over the well, there you go. It's the Halo Honk line.
It's the Mariner Meltdown line.
Oh, it's Leaf. How you doing, my man?
Could be better.
Okay. Well, what is the problem first in Seattle, in your opinion?
The offense makes the 2022 Broncos look like they're in 2013 form.
Well,
remember what I said about the White Sox being trash at hitting? We're somehow worse than them now.
Yeah, and I would have thought that there would be more cohesiveness with this Mariners team, having them around a couple years. You know, you had pretty good performances by what's his name last year, Ty France, and a couple other guys. I thought J.P. Crawford would be balling out, but that entire lineup, man, there's nobody really above 250.
Yeah, and the lineups are just like, why are we hitting Mitch Garver at second and Maury Polanco at fifth? When they're both hitting under the Mendoza line.
Yeah, I mean that we've been asking the same questions down here. That might be an analytics thing up there in Seattle as well.
Yeah, part of I don't really know what the fuck Scott's thinking. Like, pulling Logan Gilbert early was a bit questionable, but the thing that has me driving up the wall is putting in Austin Voth, which is just like, if you go look at the Adele pitch, it's the same fucking pitch that he served the meatball up to Willie Calhoun on Friday night.
Yeah.
The same fucking pitch.
Yep.
Like, what did you expect to happen?
Yeah, I mean, when you're throwing a pitch like that, you're asking it for it to get hit over the fence, and if it doesn't, you're kind of like wiping your brow, like, okay, I got away with one.
Yeah, it's just. I think my main frustration is just with the front office, because John Stanton, who's our owner right now, is underratedly cheap, in particular with the second base options. Because I honestly felt like we could, maybe get something like Marcus Semien. If we spent like 3/4 of what the Rangers have spent, it could have been us ending the legacy of failure instead of Texas. But no, we had to sell for the whole 54% shifts. And the thing that drives me up wall is that I don't know if this organization seems to care about building a true winner. And that is really frustrating when the fans are having to put in their money, their effort, and most importantly, their time, which they're never getting back, into an organization that does nothing but punch them in the dick.
Yeah.
Every single year.
Well, that's tough to be a Mariners fan, man, because again, sometimes they're looking like they're building towards something that's going to be fantastic, like I thought a couple of years ago, and then last year was a fall off, and then this year they're winning despite that bad offense. But dude, James brings up a good point. Do you agree with Suarez being traded? Was that not was that like sort of something that hurt the Mariners?
Suarez did have a down year compared to 2022, but that was definitely a tough one to swallow because that was the good vibes only guy on the team.
Yeah.
So it's just frustrating that Gilbert has such a great performance and he gets fucking Felix again, like the majority of this pitching staff has for the past 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, and James is saying that Gilbert could be that analytics could be the reason why Gilbert was taken out. And I'm telling you, like, you got to trust. Teams that trust their gut tend to go a lot further than this analytic BS. And
and just look at the 2020 World Series.
Yeah.
It's like, just if the guy is rolling, let him in. Just keep him in.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Kraken hockey cannot come fast enough.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing about NFL, man. So here you go.
Yeah, it's true. Although I don't know what the Seahawks are going to be doing there. It's kind of a no man's land right now.
I think it's going to be a surprise, man. You're going to have to check into our football show because I got some thoughts on that, man. I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised.
You might need to resend me that because I think Randy's one is a One Jets podcast, right?
Yeah. But I think we're going to be.
I might come into that after the December 2nd game, just in case if the Seahawks beat the Jets again.
Yeah. Well, trust me, I'll be giving him crap the entire time too, but we'll see.
Of course.
All right, bro. Well, you have a good one, man, and hang in there, dude. The second half's about to start. And don't forget, there's a lot of season left to be played, and the season starts tomorrow.
Well, it starts Friday. So.
Yeah, there you go. It starts Friday. All right, Leaf.
All right.
Later.
Take care.
All right, that's Leaf up there in Seattle. Also, Jesus checking in with Jock Galonian to the Royals. And then R. Martinez is asking, where's Pilar? Kevin Pilar is falling out of grace, it seems like, with the Angels. I don't see him getting any start anytime soon. They seem to believe that he's washed up or that he's a guy that's only going to be, once a week, twice a week type of guy, which is stupid. Elijah checks in with what a way to end the homestand from IG, but what a way to end the first half of the season, winning 3 in a row. You kind of wish that they didn't have that really bad 5-game losing streak because it kind of like took all the momentum away from the Angels and what they were trying to do. And so we're going to find out here. Let's see. The Angels are 1 pick away from what, and I'm going to tune in now to see if we could do this pick live here. Let's see, MLB draft, get on here and see who the Halos pick up and see if this guy is worth the pick, man. Because let's see here. See where the Angels are at. I got to find the live feed for it. Nope, it's not there. Once I find it, then I'll jump on it real quick here. Because telling you, I would love for the Angels to get someone that's going to pay off. But the thing is, we can't rush. You know what I mean? Like, you can't rush them up like you've been rushing up these players because they're taking, like you're throwing guys in the freaking, what do you call it? You're throwing them in the fire when most teams are like, hey, you know what? We're going to take this guy here. We're going to take this guy there. We're not trying to push our guys, like we can let them sit a couple, a couple years. But no, I mean, the Angels are throwing Shauna Wells, the Netos, just through the organization real fast. Good teams are usually the ones that
Hey, so the computer crashed, so that was awesome. I'm going to end it right now because apparently I didn't put everything back together from the Mezzo thing, so I apologize. We'll have more on the draft pick right now because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right, or if I'm not mistaken, that's what I figured. I figured we would get a second baseman, so yeah, second baseman Christian Moore from Tennessee, another Tennessee volunteer added to the Angels to go along with Ben Joyce and his brother. So sorry that we messed up here and the system went down. So I'm just going to end it early. There's your pick for Fernando was on TV on the MLB Network. So there you go. And Angels win. I'm just going to play this out with some Stukas because this is, again, if you thought I was frustrated last night, fuck! God, I hate when shit goes wrong. Had a good show going.